Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday, where of course we're looking at the performance of the New Zealand Stock Exchange over the past week. This week I'm also going to take a look at Fonterra in this particular video. Reason being is that I've had a great question come in from someone and they are wanting me to do a video, if you like, on a diversified portfolio with New Zealand listed securities such as obviously shares, debt, commodities, and anything else that's listed on the New Zealand Stock Exchange. So I'm going to record that one for Thursday. So today we're going to take a look at Fonterra as well as the NZX 50 and how they've been performing. Just that normal housekeeping that this is for educational purposes only. So if you're looking for personalised financial advice, then you do need to go and talk to your own financial advisor. So without any further ado, let's take a look. Right, I've got the NZX 50 up here on the screen, and I'm recording this on Monday, so the market is open, and you can see here that we're up already on Monday. So the market has been open for a couple of hours, and we're up about 0.34%, which is great. So looking at last week, that is one very healthy looking candle. So the market had a great week last week. It was very strong. If I look down the bottom here, we've also see a very strong volume candle as well. So they're both very, very good considerations for our market. But are we out of the woods yet? So let's go and pop the moving averages on, and we'll change that to 30. And we will change simple to exponential, and here we go. So at this stage, we're still trading below that 30-week moving average. For those that will follow me regularly, you will know that I like to see the market trading above the moving average. And the reason being is because if the share is trading or the market is trading above the moving average, then that's where positive things can continue to happen. Obviously, a market will top at some stage, and I'm certainly not in the game for trying to recognise where that's going to happen. It's just if a market is trading below those moving averages, then highly likely it could continue to fall. Although we've had a positive week last week, and this week on Monday it's starting out positive as well, which is great. We'll also pop on the 15-week moving average, right? And here you go here. So both of the share market, our main indices, is trading below both of those moving averages. And whilst they are starting to turn up, they've not crossed yet. So that's another thing for me that I want to keep an eye out for, is that the moving averages have crossed through. So the 15-week is trading higher than the 30-week, and that's indicated here by that solid blue line. I also, like I just said, want to make sure that the share itself is trading above both of those moving averages before I do anything further. So that's even before I even start looking at individual shares. I want to make sure that that's where our market is trading at the moment. So I'm going to take the 15-week off, and I just want to have a look at that. I'll change the 30, and we'll just make it a 200 period moving average. And the reason for that, because it's 200 weeks in this case, it's a slower moving average, and it just gives us an idea where the market is perhaps overall trending. So as you can see here, we're still above that 200-week moving average, which is great. Again, that's a good positive sign for our market. But are we out of the woods? I really can't answer that. For me, we've got good volume. We've potentially got a couple of weeks positive. At this stage, the US market isn't open, so only time will tell on that. But it is certainly looking a little bit more favourable than perhaps how we have been looking previously. So that's something to keep an eye on, which is great. And like I just said, we want to make sure that the market is trading above both of those 15 and 30-week moving averages. We want to make sure that they've actually crossed through as well. Now, I'm just going to take this off, and we're going to take a look at Fonterra. So I'll just put Fonterra up on the board, leave the main indices up for the New Zealand Stock Exchange, and just initially get a comparison. So you can see here that Fonterra is certainly trading well above where the main board is for the New Zealand indices. So that is a really good sign. For me, if I'm looking at an individual share to buy, I want to make sure that it's been trading above the main board for the New Zealand Stock Exchange for at least the 5 or more weeks, and you can definitely see that here for Fonterra, which is a really, really good sign. Let's actually break it down and go and have a look at the chart on Fonterra. And here we are here. So Fonterra on Monday has opened. It's about nearly 1.5% up, which is great. Again, it had a positive week last week, and Fonterra is at this stage potentially wanting to trade up around these highs here. So we're at $5.70 at the moment, and the most recent high was back on middle of March, and that was at $5.80. So we're very, very close to that. If I just put out all, and it's gone out to a monthly, which is fine. So looking at Fonterra here, the high that it's had all time was actually back in April 2017, and that looks like it was trading up around that $7.81 mark to where we are way off the all-time highs, but it does look like that Fonterra is certainly in an upward trajectory, which is great. We'll just go back to the 5-year one. Now, let's just go and pop on these moving averages. So again, we'll pop on the 30 potential, and great. Fonterra is definitely trading above that one, which is great. We'll also pop on the 15-week moving average as well. And I've said before that there's nothing special about these moving averages. They're just what I like to use, but it's about being consistent. So keeping your moving averages the same and over any share that you're analysing, because the thing is, by keeping them the same means you're looking at the same data constantly. If you have different moving averages for different shares or different indices, then you're going to get differing results. And if you stay consistent, I believe, then you will start getting some results yourself, which in share trading, which is great. So as you can see here, Fonterra has been in an absolute tremendous run. It's trading above both of those moving averages, which is great. Volume is not too bad on Fonterra down here, which is good. We've had some fairly strong weeks back in March, which was really good. And if we take a look, Fonterra actually, the moving averages crossed at around January last year, middle of January last year. So that's where the 15-week moving average crossed through the 30-week, and it's basically continued to run. It's had a very, very strong performance since then, which is great. That's what we would certainly want to look at in a share. Now, at the moment, me personally, I'm not buying any more shares. I'm certainly holding the ones that I've got. And the reason for that is because I want to make sure that the New Zealand Stock Exchange is trading above both of those 15 and 30-week moving averages. And I want that 15-week to have crossed through the 30. So it means that the market's on an upward trend. I am holding existing positions, and Fonterra, to be honest, is an existing position that I'm holding. So definitely it is a good share. It appears to be performing very well, and that's what I mean by determining it as a good share. It's trading above the main board of the New Zealand Stock Exchange and has been for several weeks. So these are all good positive signs for Fonterra. Obviously, at some point, a market will top out. When that will be, I don't know. Yes, we had a down week back on the 21st of April, but that's only one. That's only sort of been 1 week. We've almost been having a look since it's hit the top of about $5.80. It's almost alternating. So to me, it looks like it's hitting this potential line of resistance up around that $5.80 mark. So if it can break through that $5.80, highly likely that it will continue to perhaps go a little bit further. And you can see that back here, back on November last year, there was sort of this line of resistance at around $5.40. We can see that we went sideways. We obviously dipped down. Then we had a run again, okay, a little bit like a staircase. And you can see that's what's been happening with Fonterra pretty much around from December 2023. We have a sideways period, we have a little bit of up, then we have some down movements, and we take another step up. So it is working in quite a staircase formation, which is great, because when I was giving financial advice to people, I always used to say that it's a bit like taking a breath. We can't keep breathing out. In other words, markets can't keep rising. At some point, you have to take an inward breath, and that's where we see the shares come back a little bit and perhaps form a line of a line of support, and then run again. So Fonterra is and according to the charts, is certainly shaping up to be a great share. So something worth definitely keeping an eye on, and obviously doing further research. So I hope that's helped. And like I said, come back on Thursday. We're going to take a look at potentially, if you're wanting to create your own portfolio in New Zealand equities and commodities and the likes, how you can go about doing that if you don't want to talk to a financial advisor. So until then, take care. And remember, if there is any codes or investments you would like me to take a look at, let me know in the comments and I respond to all of them. So thanks very much.